The 7 heavenly virtues. Qualities that in the texts of old oppose the deadliest of sins. Values that in religious terms every practicing Christian should abide by. But in the world of mixed martial arts, the fight game blurs those lines to the greatest degree. In a sport filled with sinners, trash talking is a foregone conclusion in the build to any bout.
Sean said if he wins the title, he'd like his first defense to be against you. What would you say to those comments?
Sean can go and himself.
All in the name of earning an extra buck, the UFC has fostered a moralless environment. And on the other end of the spectrum, the quote-unquote nice guys of this game are dwindling further into obscurity as the allure of money and fame grips all. Those who refuse to cater to the status quo often find a harder road to the divisional summit, in which only the art of war can help push them up the ladder of contenders. These are the 7 heavenly virtues as UFC fighters. Patience. To endure, withstand, and brave through circumstances of near inconceivable lengths. For a mixed martial artist, it may seem intrinsic. After all, to even be a fighter isn't for the faint of heart. But to be the embodiment of patience is too, in the wake of a major setback, rally once more in the quest to claim gold and glory. Brazil's Glover Teixeira is the perfect example of one such. A man who, at age of 42, had seen more trials and tribulations than anyone. A worthy UFC career beginning in 2012, including a title shot against the formidable and undefeated John Jones, of course a bout in which he would lose. But as the years ticked on and on, he was a man waiting for another chance that simply wouldn't ever come. Every bit of momentum gained, then stifled by a brutal defeat. But Teixeira would defy the odds that so many fall victim to. A sport in which time remains undefeated, Glover would reject such a notion and run back the clock with a bloody resolve. 5 wins in a row against young hungry dogs led him finally back to a chance at the title he had long yearned for.
Second title shot for Glover Teixeira. Last one came in Baltimore, Maryland, April 26, 2014 against John Jones at UFC 172. Gets the takedown. And then a takedown for the challenger.
Oh, he's attacking his neck. Oh my God.
Oh, they're together. Glover Teixeira breaks through at 42.
Wow.
He's the undisputed light heavyweight champion.
Glover Teixeira!
He's 42 years old, and I'm gonna keep breaking those rules. Never give up in your dreams. No matter what people say, don't listen to them. They're gonna put you down. Don't listen to those negative people.
The oldest champion in UFC history. He may not have successfully retained his title and retired bloodied and bruised to an empty home crowd in the process, but his patience and undying resolve to achieve the unachievable should always be remembered. Diligence. Indicative of a strong work ethic, to be diligent in this game can be represented by almost everybody at the top level of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Whilst we as fans see the entertainment side of the sport, a bloody war, a flash KO, the debt of blood, sweat and tears built over the prior months is repeatedly vocalized as being harder than the bout itself. And it is there, in the gym on the cold sweaty mats, that champions are truly made. None represent true diligence more than 2 men, once adversaries, but both champions inside and out of the octagon.
Are you intoxicated?
Yeah!
Yeah, you look like
Come
it.
at me, motherfucker, let's go!
Former middleweight champion Michael Bisping was a man who perhaps lacked the natural raw ability of those who came before and after him, but none could match his heart and determination, and that is what truly made the count great. Half of the battle in his career tenure was simply to get clearance to even fight. As for the better half of his 11-year run, he had fought the best of the best with one functioning eyeball.
Look at this. Check this out. Look at this, baby boys.
Oh!
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's why I used to wear fucking sunglasses, baby boy.
It was unbeknownst to everyone until his retirement, showing that Michael was a man who made no excuses and took no shortcuts like many pre-USADA. And that unrivaled drive was enough to grant him the prize that many desire, but so few achieve.
Michael Bisping, Luke Rockhold, 5 rounds of fighting. Here we go! Oh, he got rocked! Bisping caught him with a left! And again, Michael Bisping is the new UFC middleweight champion of the world!
His adversary, who took the belt off him at UFC 217, deserves just as much of a mention. The legendary Georges St. Pierre is a name even the biggest of casual fans will no doubt acknowledge. While some live for the thrill of the fight and the blood spilled inside those 8 caged walls, the Canadian was one who thrived off the exact opposite.
I'm gonna tell you something, guys. I never liked it. I never liked to fight. People like, oh, you're bullshitting. No, man, I never liked it. I love the freedom that it brings me. The sport, the science of it. I like to go train in the gym, the camaraderie that I have with my training partner, the science of it.
And yet, despite despising every waking moment of the fight itself, Rush's diligence in the training room had granted him accolades nigh unrivaled. The two-weight king and 9 title defenses, all whilst doing so with an air of classiness and respect.
All right, here's George. I'm very glad you won that fight, Matt, but I'm not impressed by your performance, and I look forward to fight you in the near future.
Kindness. Is there anyone more fitting for the virtue of kindness than that of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson? A man who has never laid his hands on UFC gold, but even in the wake of his losses, remains respectful and appreciative of his opponent's efforts at every single step. While some may never be able to fully admit their faults/downfall years after a devastating loss, Wonderboy chooses to turn the other cheek.
Oh no, I'm getting nervous. Light's about to be out. Here it comes. Here it comes. Bing! No! Oh, dude, I'm like stiffing up. I'm like, oh.
One of the greatest strikers the sport has ever seen, he brought karate into mainstream MMA as a viable path. And yet, even as an elite-level UFC fighter, he still coaches kids' classes on the weekends. In a world of showmen, where the baddest mother effer title is an officially recognized belt, Wonderboy to this day remains the only man to receive its antithesis.
The nicest mofo
what?
belt.
Are you kidding me right now?
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, the inaugural nicest mofo champion.
Refusing to fall victim to the allure of the easy path, Stephen takes the one less traveled by, refusing to cater to the disingenuous attempts at trash talking made by his opponents.
Champion, like I said, for a reason, man. So
I'm the best.
Yeah, but I'm going out there to prove that.
You going out to prove I'm the best?
That I'm the best.
You going out there to fool yourself?
It's all right, man. I don't know why you gotta be so mean, man. This guy's so mean.
Charity. Providing for those in need, whilst being unmotivated by self-interest. For the life of a professional fighter in the modern game, money is tight for many and an afterthought for few. Despite putting their livelihoods on the line for our entertainment, the minimum bar for pay in MMA's premier promotion continues to be a hotly debated topic. And for that reason, Dustin Poirier unequivocally deserves to be mentioned. Creating the non-profit organization The Good Fight Foundation in 2018, the Diamond's fight kits are auctioned off after every bout, with every dime of the proceedings going towards those in need. His actions have influenced those in the fight game too, helping to reject the archaic notion that fighters are bloodthirsty thugs and rather genuine and compassionate human beings.
Clear the air. Connor's team, McGregor Sports Entertainment, did reach out to my foundation, and they are starting the donation to the Good Fight Foundation, and we have huge plans for that. So Connor, man to man.
Pleasure, brother. My pleasure. Thank you.
You're going to help a lot of people with that.
Yes.
And even after losing his unification bout against the formidable Khabib Nurmagomedov, his actions outside of the cage had fostered the greatest level of respect between him and his adversary, with the latter helping to raise even more money for charity and collaboration.
Guys, make sure I'm gonna sell this t-shirt. All this money I'm gonna send Dustin Poirier. This is what I want.
The former interim king's actions granted him the Forrest Griffin Community Award in 2020, cementing him and his team as truly caring individuals amongst the sea of pretenders.
It's so awesome for the Good Fight Foundation to be recognized for all the good it's been doing to the underserved communities in Louisiana. I want to thank our community, because without you guys, we couldn't come together and help those in need. We're just a vehicle for these things to happen. Without your guys' voice, you know, we wouldn't be able to get these things done. So thank you to everybody who's ever donated, shared information with the Good Fight Foundation.
Temperance. Self-restraint. Moderation. Temperance is paramount to be a fighter, as the UFC becomes far more about verbal skirmishes as opposed to physical ones. To resist fighting back against the harshest of words, or even follow the same path, is a rare sight, no doubt. Welterweight king Leon Edwards is one of the few high-profile fighters who still fit that bill. A man who doesn't live for the showmanship and trash talk, rather the art of war. A boy raised in the turbulent, gang-ridden streets of Jamaica and subsequently Birmingham, the end result is a man who, through finding martial arts, is reserved, quiet, and observant. Qualities that made him an elite-level fighter, yes, but not one that appealed to the mainstream. His journey to the throne was far more arduous than anyone before him, his only chance at the belt gained as he forced the boss's hand.
How much bad luck has that kid been through? You know what I mean? He's been through it all. You can't take anything away from this kid. He absolutely deserves the next title shot.
Through his 10-fight unbeaten streak across 5 years, Leon had always remained true to himself, choosing to chart his course the hard way, a decision which, of course, would eventually pay off.
There it is.
But a true showcase of his temperance came within his title defense, most recently against Colby Covington, a man who in every way possible, a polar opposite to everything the Jamaican-born stood for.
Chaos. I'm unpredictable. No one knows what I'm going to do next, but I can tell you one thing, that, you know, you play with the bull, you're going to get the horns.
A man far past any moral compass. To America's champ, no step was too far in the realm of trash talk. And Leon, even with his tough upbringing, was no exception.
On Saturday night, I'm going to bring you to a place you never want to be. I'm going to bring you to 7th layer hell. Okay. No, I'm bringing you to 7th layer hell. We'll say what's up to your dad while we're there.
Oh!
The lowest of blows was enough to fracture Leon's mental armor, but crucially not break it. And with 5 5-minute rounds of time to legally enforce a beatdown, Edwards had shown his restraint and come out the other side as a victor.
Very emotional for me. This guy used my dad's death as entertainment. He used my dad's murder as entertainment, and it took it up for me to calm down, stay focused, and come in this fight, you know. And I thought to my coaches, spoke to my mom, and I kind of just shut it all down, you know. Back after the press conference, went backstage, I was crying because just for the rage. Like, you can't use my dad's death as entertainment, and that's what he did, you know. Like, to this day, it still breaks my heart. He got murdered, and he said my dad should burn in hell. And
humility, low self-regard and sense of unworthiness, to be liberated from consciousness of oneself. In the modern era of MMA, one such quality is perhaps the rarest of them all, as every up-and-comer seems intent of provoking, spouting rhetoric in the hopes of gaining a new bumper contract, rather than letting their fists do the talking. The notorious McGregor was a unique example, the very first to blur those lines of morality. A man who, although audacious on the mic,
one of those elbows, one of those shots are going to dig into that soft, sweet spot into the temple, and that's all she wrote.
In the case of a loss, would in his prime remain humble.
Can you describe the emotions after a loss like that?
You know, it stings real bad, but this is the fight business. I've been on the end of many defeats in my life, and I've rose back, so I will not shy away from it. I will not make excuses for it. I will assess it and come back.
Whilst that trait has no doubt decayed in his psyche since reaching his monetary and sporting ascendancy, others still remain. Tom Aspinall to many is the perfect example. A man who, despite becoming the interim heavyweight champ at UFC 295, remains with a firm grasp on his roots, never to forget the humble beginnings and hardships he went through growing up. And that's reflected in his media duties. Even on the biggest of stages, the Englishman has never strayed from his morals, refusing even now to cater to the trash-talking personas that many fall victim to. As his notoriety grew from humble contender to global superstar, he continues to simply be himself. And to many spectators, such a decision offers a sobering perspective.
I'm not going to stand in the middle of the cage and have a shootout with him, do you know what I mean? I'm not going to have a measuring competition with him, both literally and figuratively, because he'll probably win both, you know what I mean? So
there is never any pride or hubris, rather a clear faith and confidence in one's technique and ability. Even if that means contesting with the greatest of all time in John Jones, I have little doubt that Tom will ever change his tune.
Obviously, I don't want to sit here slagging off my bosses, but it's not right. It's not right. Like, they can't be fucking 2 heavyweight champions. They can't be. There's one guy, there's one face, one name, and let's find out who that is. I think I'm the fucking #1 heavyweight in the world right now. I truly, truly believe it.
Chastity. Now, how this applies to a fighter, I'm not quite sure, though I think it's fair to say any of the practicing Muslims likely fit this bill. Khabib and the Nurmagomedov clan, as well as Islam Makhachev, all doubt to their religion, and likely the virtues within them.